So Prabhupada was complaining of mental distress this morning also.
Sri Prabhupada, ওটা কি ব্যাপার হয়েছিল? Mental distress?
बोली
वही बात है, कोई हमको पॉइजन किया।
अच्छा, उन्हें सोचने लगी कोई।
यदि देखिए बात यह है कि हो सकता है किसी राक्षस ने दिया हो। चालू स्वामी,
I was thinking if someone poisoned him, that was the mental distress.
तो ये बोलते हैं तो इसमें कुछ न कुछ सत्यता है, इसमें कोई संदेह नहीं।
He said that when Śrīla Prabhupada is saying that there must be something truth behind it.
What did you say about Shankar?
Yeah, that someone gave
some
like, the powdered
देने वाला कि बार खाने में एक पान में एक चीज दे दूं, बताऊं दूध में दे दूं, खाने एक पान में दवाई दे दूं, सुबह थे जिंदगी भर के लिए कोई भूल सको, हैं?
Śrīla Prabhupada, Shastriji says that there must be some truth to it if you said that. So who is it that is poisoned?
Tamal Krishna's question is followed by a long 13 seconds of silence by Śrīla Prabhupāda.
On the next day, that is the 9th of November, the subject comes up again. Prabhupada was feeling mental distress in the morning, as well as some physical problems, and those matters are being discussed. Bhaktivedanta Maharaj brings up the point that Prabhupada had been complaining about mental distress that morning, and Bhakti Charu decides to inquire further from Śrīla Prabhupada. He says, "Ota ki byapar hoye chalo," mental distress, uses the English words. And Prabhupada responds, there's a noise which comes in, and Prabhupada seems to give a chuckle. To me, I interpret this as a response of slight embarrassment that Prabhupada has been thinking about the subject or whatever, and he's a little embarrassed to bring it up. At any rate, it's also possible that this noise was a reaction to the this chuckle was a reaction to the noise that had been made before. At any rate, the Kaviraj says, prompts Prabhupada and says, "Go ahead, say it, boliye, boliye." It's evident that Prabhupada is reluctant to talk. He needs to be pushed. Then Prabhupada says, "Wohi baat." Now, when you hear it again, he's saying it's that old story. That what I was talking about before. It's the same old thing. As though whether we've heard everything, if everything is on the tapes or not, we don't know. But perhaps the previous conversation had convinced him that it was not of importance or whatever. That somehow that the Kaviraj's statements and Bhakti Charu's statements and so on had indicated to Prabhupada that it was not something which was worth investigating in depth. So anyhow, he says that wahi baat je koi humko poison kiya. So he brings up the subject again. That someone has poisoned me. This time he doesn't say someone said that I've been poisoned, but he says directly that someone has poisoned me. At any rate, this causes a lot of reaction, and everyone starts talking. Of course, these portions have to be translated. So Bhakti Charu translates a portion to Bhavananda and so on, who are asking about what has been said. And the Kaviraj also has an opinion to give. And the Kaviraj's opinion is, first of all, that it's not impossible. He says that, he says, "Baat hi hai," which means, "Dekhi baat hi hai, ki koi rakshas ne diya ho." That, that this is the thing to understand. Baat hi hai means that this is what we got to understand here. And the important emphasis that the Kaviraj gives in his whole talk, first of all, is that if some Rakshas gave Prabhupada poison, it could possibly happen. It's not impossible that even someone like Shankaracharya had been given poison. Someone gave for 6 months, gave him ground up glass, and that only after 6 months did he start to experience the symptoms of that. So it was a long-term poison, and and then he turns to another subject, saying that that person who gave the poison to Shankaracharya, obviously had to suffer the results of his activity. He had to suffer his karma. But then Shankaracharya makes an effort to assure Prabhupada. He's saying that anyone who takes the medicine which I give will be cured, no matter what the causes of the disease are. So Bhaktichara Maharaj asks whether there was mercury in the Makara Dhwaja, and Kaviraj says that was something different. And there seems to be confusion on the part of other devotees as they inquire into what has been said, because Bhaktichara doesn't translate immediately exactly what has been said, but was referring back to the earlier things about mercury being a kind of poison. And Tamal Krishna, he also takes it that the Makara Dhwaja is being referred to, that there was mercury in the Makara Dhwaja. So apparently Tamal Krishna knew also that mercury was in the Makara Dhwaja. But Kaviraj at this point says no, that he's talking about Rasa Kapoor, and he's talking about Amiras, and saying that these are the very poisonous things. And then Bhaktichara is still asking further for clarification about Makara Dhwaj, and the Kaviraj says that Makara Dhwaj to Amrit hota hai, that Makara Dhwaj is like nectar, but in Prabhupada's case, inke liye bish hota hai, that in Prabhupada's case that this is like a poison, whereas the other elements, the Rasa Kapoor, Amiras, or whatever else he's been talking about, that these things are poisonous for everyone. And from this point on, the conversation takes on a different turn. There's some discussion of the murder case, which Bhavananda and Bhaktichara are evidently familiar with because of the connection through the lawyer, Shankar Das Banerjee. But then the Kaviraj turns to, he quotes a Sanskrit verse. The subject of Prahlad comes up, that Bhagavan, that Lord protects his devotees, like Prahlad would protect. He protected Prahlad from poison, and the Kaviraj quotes a Sanskrit verse in which he states that Prabhupada, you're a Siddha Purush, your body is spiritual, so you shouldn't worry about this kind of thing. You're protected by God, so you don't need to worry about external causes. And this is where Tamal Krishna comes in, and in agreement, apparently he's caught the spirit of what Kaviraj has said, and said that no poison is strong enough to stop the Harinam Śrīla Prabhupada. And the Kaviraj again confirms that. He says, Bas, and Harinam ke samne, and goes on into a glorification of the holy name, and Mirabai, who has received a terribly strong poison, and again Prahlad Maharaj's name comes up, and so on.